Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lady D Psychic. This will be my astrology and a bit of a psychic mediumship reading, and this is going to be off the Netflix documentary The Crash. So, with Mackenzie Shirilla, and we have Davion, and then we have a Dominic as well. So, I don't have any birth times, I've only got birthdays. So I'm not going to share my screen today because I'll just go through their personalities and I'll write it up. You'll see it around me here and their picture over here. So the chart of Mackenzie is actually quite interesting. So let's go through with her and we'll begin it now. I have also seemed to connect to see if I can get what happened around the crash and with the boys as well. So with Mackenzie, she was born on the 2nd of August 2004. So she is a Leo. We don't know what her ascending is, but she's a Leo with a Pisces moon, Mercury in Virgo, Venus in Gemini, and then her Mars is in Leo. So when we're dealing with Leo energy, we're dealing people who can be quite loud, who want to be having the spotlight on them, wanting to be sort of in a popular group, and this is what we get when we see her. She does have that Piscean moon, and I find with Leos it's that they can be open to I don't know if I can say I'll say shrugs because I don't know if I can say the actual word on here. So we'll say shrugs. And I feel but Pisces also rules addictions, so that also plays into that. She also probably would have been a little bit paranoid too, some of her personality, and I feel like there's paranoia when it comes to her and her partner as well. She does have her Mercury in Virgo, so the words that she would use, like she would use very precise words and specific words that when she was be speaking. With her memory, having a Mercury, I don't feel like she's forgotten what happened during the crash. Just with that Mercury in Virgo, they're very big on detail, so she'd be very big on particular details and notice things too because Virgo's about perfection, it's about detail orientated. So I feel like I don't know, I don't feel like, unless in any way you could tell in astrology, with if the Mercury was next to Neptune or Neptune over the Mercury, nothing like that is in her chart. I don't feel like she's forgotten. And I also can't check if the health thing is real either. I don't feel like it is, but who am I? Maybe there is. I can only check that sort of thing if I have the whole chart in front of me, which I've only got like half the story here. Venus in Gemini, so she could be quite flirtatious, quite sassy. I feel like she was a very demanding person as well, or demanding in relationships. I feel like she's open to meeting new people, come across very friendly. I feel like she had this way of making you feel important. I kind of feel like Regina George kind of character with her, actually. Now, her Mars is in Leo as well. So when she has a temper, so if you've bruised her ego, just when she's going to get angry at you, she's going to get pouty. She's going to be like a little child, temper tantrum. That's when we see things in the documentary. I feel like she was quite loud and very like yelling too, but needed to be in the spotlight. The things with Leos is that they need to be loved, and they need to have their ego stroked, and it's not being stroked. And I feel like with this Pisces moon, it can make her a little bit crazy as well, because even though there's the positive side of Pisceans are this soft nature, there's a kindness to them, a sensitive, emotional, spiritual. They got to go to the negative, and that is, I said, the addictions, mental health, paranoia. There's this with her when she's emotional, probably when she got a bit more crazy as well, and especially towards the partner. And I feel like if she didn't get what she wants, she would just blow her top off, is what I kind of feel. And I feel like that there was an argument in the car on the accident, which I'll get to in a moment, but I just feel like that there was an argument. They were arguing over what she wanted, didn't want. I kind of feel like it was something that she wanted. And I feel like that's where things started to escalate. And I feel like she had maybe even threatened this before. I don't know. We don't know. But that's what I kind of feel. Now, interesting, depending what time she was born, there's a good chance that she does have moon conjunct Uranus, so something unexpected, unusual in the home. She's born with that, and it's a bit. Oh, in my mindset, it is a bit unusual to having a 17-year-old living with the partner at that young age. But so that is quite, and to me, it's unusual, unexpected, and just where her parents are with her is a bit unusual. I feel as well. She would see her dad as the Leo. So she would see her dad as someone who's needing the spotlight, likes to be liked and wants to be popular, has a bit of an ego about him. She would see her mum as more of the emotional, placid person. Maybe she sees her mum as someone she can manipulate and control as well. Now, when also in her chart, she had Pluto, it was near the Chiron. So there was a bit of a change, but a very like a frustration change that she was going through, or transformation. And at the time of the accident, we're going to a time where we had Uranus conjunct the node, and then that was for everybody. So it was like an unexpected. So this is for all three of them with this transit. And the same as that, we had Mars very close to Uranus. So they all three of them had that transit, because everybody had that transit at that time. So there was like this unexpected, unusual sort of destiny point here, like life lesson, as well as with Mars being close to this as well. It's all about, it can be about strength, but aggravation and anger. So this would have been building up, and it was in Taurus as well. So it was about what would have been about, like what they value, what they see as feeling secure and safe, which makes sense in what we know about the accident and what happened. So we had those three things coming together when the accident happened. Then else I can see in her chart, which is also here. Okay, I can see that she had Mars over, so Mercury over Mars. So during this time, it wasn't directly over, but it was close. So anger building up, frustration, and it was Mercury and it was transiting through Leo. So a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of her thinking that she's right with that Mercury in Virgo, and that she's going to express herself and she's going to tell people what for. Probably a very very angry time for her, and that's what I feel like is what's caused the accident is her temper too, especially with that transit there. I feel like she's very lucky to be alive, actually. Now with the other boys, we'll do Dominic first. So with Dominic Russo, she's like Mackenzie's chart. She's the stronger personality out of the three of them because of the Leo. It's a fixed personality, and she does have a lot of things in a mutable placement, so there is a bit of flexibility with her. But just having me look at the personalities, hers would be the most potent, the most strongest, where she needs more the attention than the other boys. So with Dominic, look, that wasn't covered in the documentary, ones that I've seen, but with just the personality that I can see here, I feel like he had his own business too. Also, too, I'd like to mention that Mackenzie had Venus square Jupiter. That's not luck with relationships and money. So their relationship would have been very, very up and down. With that, I feel I just saw that, and showing like a bit of a spitfire here in arguments too. Okay, with Dominic, yes, I kind of feel like he's kind of very business orientated and probably had his own business. It's not mentioned in the documentary on Netflix, but I kind of feel like that where the shrugs were coming from was probably from him. Only because he's a Libra and they are fence sitters. They like to please people. They want to help people, but they like to sit on the fence. They want to fight for justice, but he's got this Capricorn and Mars in, so Moon and Mars in Capricorn. So that's very structured, it's hard working, it's being organized, it's business. So part of him would be business orientated. He does want to help people, but he can be, I feel like, a little bit about the money. He's also got Venus in Virgo, so in relationships he can be a bit nitpicky, but he probably likes women who are very much looks attention to detail, plays the part, which makes sense why he's with her. With Mackenzie, because her Mars was in Leo, she's drawn to people who sort of had this big ego about them. Love the spotlight, wants the attention seeking is what she's drawn to in a partner. And he's drawn to people that, take care of themselves, who look very presentable. Because Virgo is about that, about details and it looking quite clean, quite crisp. So in relationships, he can be quite picky. Even with sort of money, he'd be very like OCD when it comes to money as well. His Mercury's in Libra, so he'd be always trying to make things up to her, because the way he would think is that things need to be even. He doesn't like conflict. What's going to make him angry if you've messed up his routine, or he's got something all put together and he's organized something very well and you've come in and destroyed it, would make him sort of angry. But I feel like this boy would just be wanting to get things done. Capricorn's all about endurance, and I feel like with what we got here, the Capricorn energy probably would have taken over more of the Libran, but then when it came to her, probably wanted to please her, make her happy, and not upset her. He, at the time of the accident, he also had Saturn over Uranus, so unexpected problem. When I saw that, I just got in I heard it was her. So I feel like whatever was going on, there was an unexpected problem, and it was like, for him, it was unexpected, and he was trying to resolve it, but unfortunately didn't work. Depending on when he's born as well, there's a chance that he could have Moon conjunct Mars, which can mean that he got, when he does get a bit emotional, he might get a bit angry. It also could be anger or arguments in the home, if that's the case as well with him. I feel like, and I'm hearing he tried to make things right. He tried to make things be right with him and with people around him as well. I feel like with this boy that he knows he wasn't an angel. He knows he also there's things that he didn't do right. I feel like that this is a person, or the energy that I feel with this person, that he does take ownership for what he has done. And I do feel like there's a bit of a sorry here for the other young man, for Davion, that there is a lot of emotional and a lot of empathy and a lot of sorry for Davion from Dominic, I do feel like. I kind of feel like Mackenzie, even though she's gone to jail and found guilty, I kind of feel like there's not a sorry there with her. There should be, but there's not. I don't feel like. I'm hearing that she's kind of pig-headedness with her. But, we can look back and we can look at their personality and how it was. So I feel like if given the chance, Davion could have been a real, he could be doing some really good things, I feel like. And I feel like he was trying, but I kind of feel like that Mackenzie was holding him back a bit. Okay, is what I feel like. Now, with Davion, he's born on the 11th of March, 2003. Dominic was born on 24th of September, 2001. So with Davion, he's a Pisces. He's got Gemini moon. He's got Mercury in Pisces. He's got Venus in Aquarius, and then he's got a Mars in Capricorn. So both him and Dominic had Mars in Capricorn. Okay. Now Pisces, I said before, they can be on a positive side. They can be, they're very dreamlike, but they can be intuitive. They have a lot of empathy for people. They can be nice people as well. They can't deal with a lot of pressure or a lot of things that are happening around them, or due to the world pressure. They can't handle a lot because he got Mercury and Sun in Pisces. And when he had the documentary, he had the accident, and then that's how he sort of got involved with the group of friends. That was a way of escapism, because with Pisceans, they like to escape. So I do feel like with him, as part of being in his friend group and getting mixed up with what they were doing. It's about escaping, and it probably would have been because I feel like not being able to do the sport would have sort of maybe bruised his ego, but I feel like he was feeling sorry for himself too, and that is Pisces behavior. Um, we got Gemini Moon here. So Gemini Moon, he is someone that would have been very like youthful, friendly, chatty, wanted to be sociable. Um, Maybe wanted to be part of the in crowd, but wanting to learn as well, wanting to learn different things. I feel like for him was he was taking a break, and I feel like that he was trying to get things together, but he was finding it hard to get it together. Um, he would have been a really fun person, I feel, with that Gemini moon. Now, having the Mercury in Pisces as well, the way he thought could be that he's also the victim. So there could have been times where he doesn't take ownership for things that he's done wrong. But he would have been intuitive. He would have been really intuitive as well, I feel. Venus in Aquarius. So when it came to relationships, he might be a bit detached, a bit cold. The way that he loves, like it's like you can do your thing, I'll do my thing over here. But I do feel like he generally loved his sister and his family too. But he was just going through some stuff, is what I feel. He would have liked women, but in terms of partners, he would have liked women who are independent, again, maybe be detachable or be cold. He would have liked women who maybe good with technology, who, just get things done. Who are a bit different, who are a bit quirky as well. Now, with Mars in Capricorn, he would have been, he would have, there would be somewhat organization with him. Like he would want to be organized, be motivated to get things together organized. But the Piscean energy pulls him back. That's the thing with him. Now, depending on his time, we've got Saturn and the Moon close together or conjunct. So that could be problems in the home, problems with his emotions. Also, too, being the Piscean, he may also have might be a bit of paranoia with him too, especially if he was taking shrugs. There could have been a bit of paranoia. But in terms of the home, and him and his sister, they were adopted out, so probably earlier on, they have a lot of issues at home, in emotion. He would have been probably dealing a little bit at that time too. There's also with him, he also is born with the Neptune and Venus close together. So with Davion, when it came to money and relationships, they kind of just dissolved away. Like relationships around him didn't last probably when he was very young. So, we can't see a lot, but from what I know with the chart, maybe money didn't last long with him. And yeah, relationships not lasting a lot along with him, and all of a sudden would just dissolve around him too, or in a way which it did. So with Davion's chart, so for him, yes, he did have that Neptune very close, a degree apart from Venus. So yeah, relationships would have been hard, and it would not have maybe lasted as well. If I went back a few more years, he also actually had Neptune over his sun, so that could have been, and he may have been feeling the effects of it with that. So that's a bit of foggy. You don't know where your life is heading. You don't know what's going on, and it's something that dissolves. And I think that may have also been part of the accident that he had to, as well. So it's just interesting what we see in the chart. Also with that whole Venus and Neptune conjunct in the chart, that can be rose-colored glasses. So when it comes to money and relationships with him, it's like he likes to see the like all very roses and sunshines when it's not, and that can be sort of why he's choosing certain people to hang around with, because maybe he just wanted to see the best in them. Also, I feel like that to him may have been a lot of fun to hang around them as well. He also, interesting too, I just picked this up. He would have had, let me just double check it. No, he didn't have that. So, okay. Just looking, my printer didn't work, so some of the transits are a bit out from in the others. Okay, so that's what I see with his chart. With him, even a few months before, he probably even had Saturn over that Venus, so there would have been a lot going on for him leading up to this. And I feel like the one that has missed out the most, that I feel sorry for the most, is Davion. I also feel like he was meant to be home earlier than what he was. I feel like that he should have left earlier or meant to be home earlier. And I kind of feel like that Mackenzie was causing problems and causing issues. I kind of feel like there was a fight in the car. And I feel like that Dominic tried to stop the car, or he was trying to stop her, and tried to control the car in some way, but I don't feel like it worked. And I do feel like Mackenzie was very spiteful to him and always wanted the best things. That Leo, part of that Leo personality. I do feel like that there's a lot of yelling in the car. Like even like Dominic was yelling, too. I've just got she's spiteful and selfish. Always wants to get what she wants. And I kind of do feel like she knew what she was doing. I mean, I do feel like there's an under influence of something in her system, but I feel like that this girl is always sort of causing problems. And I do feel like she had this temper. She's a very fiery personality too. There was a bit of a fun side to her. I kind of feel like their relationship was over, but she didn't want to handle it, but he was ready to move on. I feel like he was sick of it and wanted to move on. That's with Dominic. But I feel like when it comes to Mackenzie, that she couldn't live without with the shrugs, and that was an issue. But I feel like Dominic is very sorry to what happened to Davion. I feel like there's a really deep sorry, and I feel like out of the three here, that it's Davion that really missed out, and that really I feel really sorry for him the most, and I feel like it's very, very tragic. With that too. And I feel like it's very hard, and I understand with the families that are involved. But I do feel like when it came to Dominic, that he was trying to change his ways. He was trying to get clean or do something different. But I don't feel like he could break away from Mackenzie, and I feel like she wouldn't let him. But she was younger than him. But it just goes to show when it has dominant personalities and what they can do with a personality not with personality that's not as dominant, which I do find is interesting as well. I don't really feel like Mackenzie's going to get out of jail. I don't think even good behaviour. I feel like I'll be very surprised if she does, but I don't feel like she will. I feel like she will stay in jail. I feel like she hasn't learned her lesson, and I feel like that she's trying to get special privileges, and I just don't feel like she's going to get out of jail. There'll be a lot done. I feel like when we get to Davion's family, they're going to do a lot for him in his name, not just the scholarship that they're doing. There's going to be more to come up with him. I just feel like he's the one who's lost out here. It's sad that two lives have been lost, but I just feel like there's more. There's more that Davion has lost than Dominic here. I feel more for him. But I do find it all to be very interesting as well. I don't think that we'll ever know exactly what's going to happen or what happened that night. I don't feel like she will tell. I think she'll stick to her story. As I said, the health thing, I mean, I feel like she might get a bit of headaches, but I don't really feel like that I do feel like there's going to be a bit of mental health with her. I just feel like that with Davion who's going through some stuff, but with her, I feel like there is mental health and delusion with her too. But I really feel like Dominic was going to change his life around, but I didn't think that, but she was holding him back in doing that, is what I feel. All right, we'll leave it there. So Thank you for your like, shares, and your comments, and I will see you for my next video. If there's anything else you want me to look at, please put it in the comment section and I'll do my best. I will be doing soon my videos on the royal family, so I'll be doing Harry and Meghan soon as well, and looking at the children of William as well. So yeah, thank you for like, shares, and your comments, and I'll see you for my next video. So bye for now.